All right, Rich, broad sweeping question. It's going to be a very general one. What do watches mean to you?
That's such a loaded question.
Yeah.
And this is the perfect question for me because I'm extremely sentimental. I currently have 4 watches that are forever watches in my collection. All 4 of them are hand engraved. I am a sucker for what watches mean. I think that there's nothing more special or unique than buying a watch to commemorate a moment, whether it's a graduation or a wedding or a big promotion or a milestone birthday. I think that the right timepiece to a man is the equivalent of an engagement ring to a woman or a high-end purse, no different than a Birkin or a Chanel bag. We don't have much that we can play with in those regards. I feel like some guys fall into being a car lover, some guys fall into watches, some guys do both. I fall into the watch side of that, but I think watches truly represent everything. I love the idea of a watch staying with you for years, and being an heirloom piece that you're going to leave to, your children or your family or a loved one. And, I even love not polishing a watch so that it truly tells your story, and that every gash and ding and scratch means something. And you can say, oh, I actually did this in Paris on the Champs-Elysees, whatever it is. But I'm just very sentimental when it comes to that. So I truly think watches can represent a ton of emotions, a ton of feelings, and can evoke a lot of feelings, whether it's sadness, happiness, pleasure, whatever. But watches, I truly think, mean everything to the wearer and, the beholder of that piece.
Yeah, I heard an expression once that watches are like a time capsule for your life.
I couldn't agree more, and I think that there's really 2 types of sellers. There's technical sellers and emotional sellers. I'm an emotional seller. The clients who work with me typically are buying me. My opinions, my company, my services. So I'm a very emotional seller. So I kind of instill that in all of the relationships that I have and when I sell watches, how important, special, and unique those watches are themselves.
Awesome.